Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome new subscribers, and thank you for joining our community. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on October 3rd, 2025. And just one announcement. A couple of people have mentioned that they're not able to tag me anymore. Tagging means that, like, let's say you have a video, and in the description section, you want me to view your video. And even though I'm subscribed to you, and it'll usually pop up in my feed, you want me to specifically see your video. So you might use the @ sign and then search for my channel. It will populate and it will tag me, meaning it'll show up as a mention, quote unquote. Now, I've mentioned to several people who have been tagging me incessantly. I'm not even affiliated with their channels. Some of the channels I'm not necessarily enjoying their content. And just because you're a targeted person doesn't mean I'm going to subscribe to all of your channels, just as you're might not subscribe to mine. But there were a couple of people that I mentioned to please stop mentioning me, because it became so incessant that every video they posted, whether it referred to me or not, whether I had any interest in it or not, it would just show up in my feed as a mention, and it was very difficult to get rid of, meaning I had to go and individually delete all of those mentions to find a mention that I might have wanted to see, meaning people I'm interested in viewing your content. So these 2 or 3 individuals were incessantly tagging or mentioning me in all of their videos. And it was also taking up a lot of space on my phone. I have an old phone, old laptop, taking up a lot of space. I was constantly having to clear the cache because I couldn't get rid of these mentions and tagging. So there is a feature in YouTube where you can remove the feature to tag or mention someone. Now, I didn't really want to do that because there are incidences where I want to be tagged. I want to see the mention. I want to see the video that you want me to specifically see. And if you're not going to be able to, email it to me directly, etc., if you're a content creator, you want to tag me, and I understand that that is important to you. And it's important to me too, but I have noticed also that I am unable to tag certain people that I want to tag. So I'll just email them privately. Yes, it's a couple of extra steps and whatever, but there are people, not only in the community, but other people that excessively use the tagging, and that goes for cyber stalkers. The narcissistic cyber stalkers that create nasty videos about you, that tag you so that you can see the nasty stuff that they've written about you to incite you, be a provocateur, etc. I don't have any interest. So I have suspended the ability for anyone, not one particular person, anyone to mention, tag me on YouTube, at least on this channel. And I apologize for the people that genuinely have good intentions and stuff, but and that's what happens, is you got the few bad apples that spoil it for the rest of everybody. But I can undo it at any time. I may choose to undo it. It doesn't mean that I am blocking you. There's a difference between blocking someone and removing the ability to use the mention, the @ symbol with my channel on your video or posts or whatever. And it's unfortunate, but there were 2, 3, 4 people that were incessant about it. And I even specifically asked them to not do it anymore, but they continued. Another reason that some people do it, and actually if you watch some of the YouTube videos about how to grow your channel, is to mention people in your genre who have more subscribers so that they piggyback back to your channel. Well, I don't mind doing that, but I don't want to piggyback back to certain channels. So that is another reason why I remove the ability to be mentioned. So I just wanted to mention that. So, and also, I received my property tax bill today. I'm going to have to get this clarified a little bit better, because when I moved here, there was a mobile home trailer that I had removed like a year later, which I think, you know, they removed it, and it reduced my property taxes, not by a lot, just like a little bit. And then, of course, with the homestead rebate being 65 and over, owning 10 acres or more, it reduced my property taxes to like 0. So now last year, you know, because I'm selling my property, I want it to be valued at a reasonable value. So I called the PVA office and mentioned that, well, you know, we need to add some of my upgrades. You know, my house, which is only 740 square feet compared to the mobile home trailer that was over 1,000 square feet. It's sort of like a replacement. You add that, my shed, the cat's building, it comes out about equal. And then chicken coop, you know, my little chicken coop. Well, today I go from paying nothing for the last 2 years to receiving a tax bill of $1,400 and $1,428. They don't accept credit cards, only cash or a money order or a check. They've got a face value of a little more. Then there's a penalty if you pay a month late. If you pay a month late, it increases by 5%. And if you pay 2 more months late, 21% penalty. So how do you go from paying nothing to getting charged $1,400? So I called the PVA office and they said, well, remember last year you added, you know, a couple of buildings, the chicken coop. And I'm thinking, you are charging me taxes on my chicken coop? So now I'm going to tell you that I have been house hunting in other states where the property taxes are significantly higher. The houses are larger. Less property, but the houses are much bigger. Generally, your property taxes are based upon the square footage of your residence, not the land, of your primary residence. Not of a greenhouse, not of a chicken coop, not of a shed, right? And I have seen property taxes, you know, in the $3,500 range for almost 3,000 square foot homes. But here in Jackson County, Kentucky, for a 740 square foot little cabin, I'm getting charged $1,428. And the school taxes are $739.41. Should my chicken coop have to pay school taxes? Should my chicken coop, now this really gets me, have to pay soil taxes, especially since people are deteriorating my soil, which I could prove. So my soil is being removed from my property, but I am being charged for soil taxes. Then there's the state's taxes, library taxes. Should my chicken coop have to pay for library taxes? You know, my chickens, I would say, my guineas, well, my guineas are not that bright. But I would say my chickens are pretty smart, but they have never visited the library. I've only been to the library once. Health. For health. Real estate health. $93.68. What the F is health? I want to know. I'm going to call up and we are going to go through all of this. Extension. What's the extension real estate? County. Okay, I get the county taxes, ambulance. I get the ambulance taxes, the state taxes. School is charged in every, you know, in Manalapan, I would say that the school taxes were significantly higher than the rest. But health? I'm probably the healthiest person in the whole county. So what is health? The health of my chickens? The health of the chickens in the chicken coop? I'm confused. Maybe all you Kentuckians out there can chime in, because I will hashtag Kentucky on this video. And you can help me understand what health means in paying property taxes. When the PVA says it's because you added a chicken coop and a shed and my cat's building, none of which have running water, I want to know how the property taxes are determined, because it's usually based upon square footage of your primary residence. Please leave a comment down below if you're a property owner, you're a homeowner, how your property taxes are calculated, because I am going to dig a little bit deeper into this, because this is absolutely on its face absurd at its core. So now speaking of the absurd at its core, some of you may know that I have filed multiple complaints with the state of Kentucky, the fusion centers, the Homeland Security, Sheriff's Department, whatever, and the Governor Andy Beshear. You know, the one who there is a criminal investigation going on about our governor. I don't know. I think it has to do with some kind of money issue, some kind of auditing. You know, sort of the way my county has never passed an audit. But evidently the governor hasn't passed an audit either. We want to know where the money's going. I know where the money's going. It goes to homeowners to pay property taxes on a chicken coop, for library, for going to the library. I want to know. I want to know how the property taxes are calculated. I thought it was based upon the square footage of a residence. I've owned a house before. New Jersey is probably one of the highest taxed states in the country when it comes to homes. And I know how the property taxes were evaluated there, and it was based upon the square footage of your home. So if you added something onto your primary residence, you are going to be taxed at a higher rate. If you had a 2,000 square foot home compared to a 3,500 square foot home, or a 740 square foot home, your property taxes would be valued based upon the square footage. So leave a comment down below. So anyway, I'm just trying to clean up some of my stuff here. And I'm going to play a phone call that I made to Crystal Staley, who is the assistant to Governor Andy Beshear.
KY.gov at CRYSTALEY@KY.gov. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Crystal. My name is Lorraine Valenti. It's a very detailed voice message for you regarding serious issues that need to be immediately addressed. This is real estate, property, mobbing, vandalism, trespassing, and the throwing of or detonating a flash grenade on my driveway. These are serious issues. The Jackson County Sheriff does nothing because he's complicit with the local neighbors. He's got a personal relationship with them. I've lived in McKay, Jackson County on a farm since 2019. I'm 66 years old. I'm considered a senior citizen. I contacted Andy Beshear in 2023 and was referred to the Criminal Investigations Division. Daniel Cameron at the time sent certified mail and never received a response back. Neighbors and other known actors, local officials, Shane Gabbard, the county lawyer, Ross Murray, have been involved in perpetrating crimes against me under the umbrellas of real estate or property mobbing. Neighbors have deliberately thrown IEDs, grenades, trash, skinned animals, and more on my driveway and stuffed inside my mailbox, which is a federal crime. My gardens have been littered with rock and weeds and trash and vandalism, burning my shrubs, cutting and destroying entire garden beds, letting loose dogs on my property. Thefts last year included more than $7,000, vandalism to the property, 3 greenhouses, holes in decks, breaking windows, slashing window screens, planting a carpet of weeds down my 350-foot driveway. I wrote to Senator Rand Paul, who responded to me in 6 days, telling me to escalate this to the Attorney General. On May 20th, I filed 2 incident complaints with the Sheriff's Department. Both of them were falsified, absolutely falsified. They refused to change them. The Jackson County sheriff and county lawyer need to be investigated for public corruption, falsifying reports, failure to investigate crimes taking place here. There's a conflict of interest, and I filed multiple cease and desist letters against my neighbors, copying both the sheriff and county lawyer's certified mail. In the police blotters above, they wrote that their cease and desist was filed against me. This is a total lie. My phone has been hacked. My mail has been stolen. My package is opened. I would like to know what is going on here, and I would like a response. And if, for some reason, the governor is not able to investigate it, please direct me to the appropriate authorities, whether it's the Department of Justice. The FBI is useless. They hang up on me. I've been calling them for 6 years that I've been here. My phone... Okay, everybody. So I'm going to be editing this video so that I can edit out my personal information. But I wanted you to hear that I left that voice message after I wrote several letters to the governor, and I have received no response. 0. No response. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department continues to falsify and not correct the incident reports. They are turning it around as if I am the person, I am the perpetrator, which is a total BS lie setup. And that's why I will not be filing any more complaints with the Jackson County Sheriff's Department or anybody in this community. I will only file complaints directly with the state. And if they choose to not respond, then the negative karma falls on their backs. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I'm going to have to edit this video. I hope everybody's doing well. Leave a comment down below with regard to your property taxes. I know that everybody's property taxes differ, but please let me know if it's based upon the square footage of your home, because generally they don't tax land the way they tax your home. And that's why in the past my property taxes have been lower than, let's say, my neighbors whose home is probably 5 times the size of mine. And I don't know what they pay for property taxes, but inquiring minds want to know. So I'm going to have to do a little research to see if I am being discriminated against with regard to property taxes, because I can't imagine in this small town that people should have to pay these exorbitant property taxes when you could move to a major city, have a home that's 4 times the size, and pay just a little bit more property taxes. And I know because I am house hunting, and one of the first things I look at is the square footage of the home and the property taxes. So anyway, this is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading. I'll leave a comment down below, and thank you so much for subscribing. So this is a little bit off topic. However, this is what happens when you're a targeted individual, because part of your quote-unquote gang stalking, your hate crime, the hate crime against you, is to increase your bills, is to asset strip you. You know, the primary motive here is for them to steal my property. So for hell, I'm not going to be paying no soil taxes when they're stealing my soil. So when I finally file a response to this invoice and speak to the PVA office, I want a detail of how it is that my chicken coop is paying library taxes. Inquiring minds like to know. Signing off for now.